From the Family and Community Outreach Center at OCALI, this is From My Perspective, our Inspiring Change podcast series focused on amplifying the voices and lived experiences of people with disabilities and their families through stories that inform, challenge, and inspire.
Welcome to From My Perspective. This is OCALI's Family and Community Outreach Center podcast. In these podcasts, you will hear from people with disabilities, their families, friends, coworkers, and neighbors. You'll hear about everyday life, their passions, their interests, their opinions. You will be inspired. You might laugh or cry. But most importantly, you will better understand what life is like from our perspective. Your host, Jen Bavery, Program Director of the OCALI Family and Community Outreach Center. This episode features interviews from the OCALICON 2019 session, A Better Me, A Better You, Sharing Your Self-Care Journey. With the conference room set up like a mini recording studio, my co-hosts and OCALI colleagues Julie Short and Simon Buer and I invited participants to join us in sharing stories about their self-care journey. For some, exploring or starting a new habit to support a healthy self might come easily. For others, the path to self-care may present obstacles and challenges to finding and or even starting the right practice. Often, it's the inspiration from the experiences of others that offers just the right amount of support needed to take the first or next step on the journey to a better self. During this OCALICON session, 6 participants honored us by sharing their self-care journey, each offering a unique perspective in how he or she recognizes and approaches self-care. Here is A Better Me, A Better You, and the self-care stories as shared during the session.
Welcome, guys. We'll be starting here in about 5 minutes, but you may have just come in just to listen, and that is perfectly fine. We are going to see if we can interview anybody that you just come up and sit in front of the microphone and just talk with us. It's very informal, very casual, no pressure. But that's what we're hoping to do, that we can get some people that would be willing to talk with us.
Yep.
So we'll wait 5 more minutes and see who else we have come in, and we'll get started.
We hope during this session that we can actually,
sit down.
We hope during this session that we can capture just some of your stories. I mean, it could be the simplest thing that, I started reading a book for 10 minutes every night. And that to me has been the best thing I could do for self-care. So again, we would love to hear from you guys. I know Julie and I both would be happy to continue talking about things that we've done and what we've heard from others. But I think right now it'd be really great to hear from all of you.
Yeah.
Do you want, I'll be happy to model. Do you want
to
do like a test?
Yeah. So that would be, guys, if we did test run so you can. Oh, awesome. Come on. Yay. You get the water. Use it butter.
Free bottle of ayahuasca.
Sad, but yes. So if you could tell us your name and what is your most favorite thing at Thanksgiving dinner?
My name is Kayleen, and my favorite thing is pumpkin pie with Cool Whip on top.
Nice.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as we kind of already started talking with the group about, each person's journey on self-care can be different, and it should be unique. Everyone's what practices they put in place, their experience should be individualized and something that's doable for that person. And so, but sometimes for folks, they just need to be inspired by others to start something or continue down that path. So can you share with us what self-care looks like for you and why you feel it's important?
Well, I am a kindergarten through second multiple disability teacher, and I've been teaching for 4 years. My first year, I taught kindergarten through 3rd grade, so it's a pretty big span when you're trying to do several different standards for them. But I didn't do any self-care my first year, and I was completely burnt out. Didn't know if this is what was meant for me. But then that is like 4 years ago, it was the new thing to do is self-care. And I was like, well, maybe that will ease some of my burnout, but also, being a first year teacher, that's a whole different realm. So that probably caused a lot. So my second year, I started at lunch. I always worked through lunch because I have children the same age that I teach. And so my first year, I didn't want to spend extra time at school that would take away family time. So my thought process was, if I work through lunch, then that'd be a half hour less that I would have to spend at school and away from my kids. Well, my second year, I was like, okay, that's not working at all. And I am very blessed to just live 4 minutes from my school. So I started just driving home, doing a load of laundry, grabbing a quick bite to eat, turn around and go back. Well, even though I did housework, it was just a completely different environment, a less stressful environment. And so that right there, just like, I wasn't burnt out, and I've been doing that since then. And it's just that half hour break has done wonders. But then also another teacher who teaches our ED unit, emotional disturbed unit, she mentioned that she takes baths every night. And that's something to me that I love doing, but I just never really took the time to do that. And so I started incorporating that as well. And those two things really has changed my like, that's definitely my self-care. And sometimes I miss it. Sometimes life happens, but as long as I know in my head when I'm really stressed out, okay, well, I'm going to go on my lunch break pretty soon, or I'm going to take a bath tonight. That right there just kind of calms me down. And then also lately, I've been kind of digging into essential oils, which they have supposedly, like, there's emotional oils that help you. And I'm like definitely that skeptic, like, I don't know how that can work and stuff. But there's this oil from Young Living, and it just, also when they were describing it, I'm like, I don't believe that. That's crazy. But like, when you go into a situation and someone else's emotions are negative, they like do have an impact on you. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, no one's emotions can mess with me. Like, if someone's angry, that'll just, no big deal. Well, it actually like does affect me, and I didn't realize that it did. So sometimes when I'm just like, almost like what you would say for autistic kids, stemming, like trying to figure out how to self-regulate. Yes. I'll put that emotion or that oil on, and then within 5 minutes, I'm fine. And it's like, I don't know the science behind that or anything, but to me, that's amazing.
But it made a difference.
Yes, it definitely.
And as a result of the things that you shared with us that you were doing and recognizing that you needed those breaks, did you see it make an impact for the kids then? Did you see a difference in the students in your classroom?
Yes, I think so. Definitely, I feel like Monday I come to school and I'm really refreshed, ready to go. And then by Friday, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need a break. Just give me 5 minutes. And so now I have those things where I can think, okay, in a half hour, I'm going to take my lunch break. So it'll be fine. And then I can calm down and be ready for the kids. So also, I don't know if I put in here too that I don't get a break from kids. So my one son goes to school with me. And so the awesome part about that is literally as my kids are walking out, my students are walking out the door, my son walks in. So I get absolutely no break from kids, and they're all the same age too. So you can't avoid that. So don't.
Right.
So.
Well, first, I want to just say, way to go in recognizing that you needed to do this. You needed to make this change and actually take that break, because it sounds like it definitely has helped you, and it's something you look forward to. And I really like the fact that you said, sometimes I can't always do these things, but I make sure to try to include it as soon as I can. And I think that right there is really important, because sometimes you get discouraged if you're not able to keep up on a routine, but just knowing that, okay, it's okay. Today was a day where I'm just not going to get home, or today is not a day where I'm going to be able to take that bath, but I know tomorrow's there. So.
And I feel like I'm so excited to hear what everybody else says, because I feel like there's always room for improvement, or
absolutely.
Like you guys were saying, some things might work for someone and something you try it and you're like, okay, that didn't work, but what else can do? Like, I'm excited to hear other options.
Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
We appreciate that.
Well, I have one more quick question then for you. So what words of encouragement would you offer to someone else to support them in either starting down that path of self-care, or just encouraging them to continue?
I would say, like, everyone says, like, teacher burnout is real and it's a lot. And it is, and it's true. But recognize that, okay, maybe you are burnt out and maybe you didn't start out burnt out. So, like, even for me, it took me a while to even recognize that self-care could help. Like, there's room for me to improve, I guess. And so really look at that. And then there is other podcasts about it. Like, invest the time to do self-care. Like, know that other people will be affected by you being the best you can be by doing self-care. So I encourage people doing that.
Excellent.
Yes, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
See, that wasn't painful. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. So, yep. Thank you. And
Who else?
Come on up. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather look at you when I talk to you.
Yes. Make it comfortable. Let's just make it right. We're on a couch. Yes. Here we go. All right. So, yes, if you can tell us your name and your favorite vacation spot.
My name is Nicole, and my favorite vacation spot would probably have to be just the lake that's next to our house. I live in Ottawa, Kansas, and we have a boat and a camper, and so we get to go on vacation whenever we want.
Wow. Can we just go there? Yeah. That seems like the perfect place for self-care.
Yes.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Why don't we start? Because I know there's two things that I'm hoping you'll share with us. One is your personal self-care journey, but it also sounds like where you work, you guys are looking at you see the importance of self-care and trying to add something in to help support staff and the folks in your group. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about what does self-care look like for you and why is it important?
I was a special education teacher for like 10 years. And then I've been a behavior specialist consultant for the last 10 years. And so I have had a lot of opportunities to notice that I've needed self-care. I taught mentally handicapped students, functional classrooms, and for 10 years. And then I was the consultant for a school district across pre-K to 21. So my journey, my first year of teaching, my mentor really honed in that I needed to take my lunch every day. And she told me that it shouldn't be a choice. And so I thank her for embedding that into my brain. And I didn't believe her, but I'm like, she told me to do it, so I'm just going to do it. And so I'm thankful for that. There's days where I didn't. And then the last year that I taught, I got moved to a different setting. So I was a emotional disturbed resource teacher. So I worked in a school, and then the resource teachers did the academics, and then I put out the fires and the behaviors and taught social skills. And so I did the prevention and the reaction. I had about 28 kids on my caseload, and I had one para. And wow, our lives were pretty stressful.
I would say so.
And that took me out of teaching. I was so stressed out and absolutely had no self-care. And it ruined my career because I had had enough. And luckily, I found a new path that I'm so thankful that I found, and it just fell in my lap. So it was it had to happen that way to get me to where I'm at now, and it's a way I'm happy. So anyway, I lacked. I worked way more than I'd ever had. So before, and my mentor also told me, leave work right when you're supposed to, and don't take work home. And so I embedded self-care for 19 years. And then my 20th year, which was my last year, after I consulted, I went back to teaching for a year. And my 20th year, I had none. And it was, it ruined it. So, yeah.
So self-care definitely is important and trying to, and so how were you able after that 20th year, the 21st year, what changed to help you be able to put self-care back in or start thinking more about self-care?
Well, I knew I didn't want to go back there. But I also knew that a lot of things that caused my burnout was no longer with me. I didn't have a supportive administration, and that's huge. I mean, it's like 75% of it. For me, it was my coworkers and my support system at work was still there, but it wasn't enough. And then I had no self-care for myself. And so that wasn't enough either. But so I I now have a very supportive administrator, but I also work from home. And so I have self-care like 90% of my day. So that's huge. But I also am really a workaholic. So I'm really dedicated to my getting my work done. So I still have to make sure that I'm not working all day. Because when you're at home, I mean, you can go and do the laundry and you can go and... It's hard to set those boundaries. Yeah. So that was hard for me because then I was working extra at night versus during the day. So I really had to set boundaries for myself. But I go on walks. I take my dog for a walk at lunch. I make sure to go do laundry if I'm starting to not be focused instead of continuing to work. I know that I need to check in with myself and think, okay, to get refocused, I need to go do laundry and get back to work. I'm just very aware of my self-care because I had such a horrible last year that I never wanted to go back there.
Oh, yeah. So tell us a little bit more about, so it sounds like you guys, are you still in a school setting? Are you still, okay, so it sounds like, no, okay.
So I work for the Kansas State Department of Education, and I work for a grant-funded project called TASN, Technical Assistance Support Network.
Okay.
And I work for the project under TASN called ATBS, which is the Autism and Tertiary Behavior Supports team. Okay. And we provide technical assistance, which is consultation or coaching to schools around the state. Schools we call it our big blue button on our website, and it says request assistance. And so then we can provide consultation or coaching to teachers for specific students or for programs to help restructure and things like that. So we work from home and then we travel to those schools and provide assistance. And then we also do state trainings that's free to teachers for anybody in the state of Kansas. And so one of my trainings that I'm doing this coming year is on self-care.
And that's through Lee Stickle, right?
Yes, Lee Stickle is my wonderful boss.
She's awesome.
She was one of the keynotes.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So this training that you're developing, why? Why did it come to be? Why is this something that's important you feel is important for you to be able to provide?
Sure. Yeah. So it was my idea I brought to Lee and approached her that this is a need for our state. So my position is to work with the schools that have the most aggression in the whole state. So thank God I work from home because, that is just, it's stressful to be in situations like that. So I get to remove myself. And so that's really, I think, been a huge key for my self-care. But in the schools I'm in, teachers are worn out. And I did their job. I worked in settings like that. I did it for 20 years. So I understand that. So I could see in their faces, I can see in their responses to behavior.
And how it impacts kids.
Absolutely. And it's just this vicious cycle. And I could see it every day. So, I approached her that, half the teachers in one of my schools are on waivers, an alternative licensing program. So not only they absolutely have no self-care because they're just trying to survive each day anyway, because they're new and still learning. And,
well, just like you, 20 years ago, whatever, as you were, coming into the field, you had a mentor. So you did have somebody that could help support you in thinking about self-care. And so it would be great to be able to offer that to these new employees that are coming in.
Yeah. So in addition to our training, we provide ongoing coaching. So we will, after we have our training, then we will coach them and can go into their classrooms and help them. Part of the training is to have an implementation plan. And so we're going to follow up on their data and see how that is going and how they can make changes. Yeah. So it's an ongoing thing.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
It's good information. And we wish you the best with the training that you're going to be providing soon, because we know it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not even keeping track of our time here. Okay. Anybody else like to share, or even if it's somebody else's story that you heard, did somebody else inspire you, something else that you've heard that you're like, okay, I really...
You can tell somebody else's story.
Yeah, tell someone else's story.
You have poetic license to.
Yes. Yeah.
I think a lot of us, when we think of self-care, some of us might define it as the pampering piece to that, where we'll go get massages or manicures or whatever it is that makes us feel good, because we all want that. But then there's a part of us that has that guilt of, well, I shouldn't be going and doing that. I shouldn't be spending money on that. I don't have the time for it. And we talked in our presentation yesterday about this pyramid effect and how the pampering is like the very top. But if we don't meet those basic needs of the foundational things that we need, such as better sleep, taking care of ourselves, drinking enough water, eating food, nutritious food, healthy snacks, and those things, which I think that even Nicole had shared with us, that she recognized that she wasn't taking care of herself and it was affecting her work, her mental well-being. And so those are things that we really have to consider, because although we want to pamper ourselves, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but there's other things that we have to be sure that we're looking into first.
And that could even be a place where you start. I mean, making sure that every day you're eating a piece of fruit, or every day you are drinking a bottle of water. I think it is making sure that your foundation is strong and focusing on that. But I think it is treating yourself occasionally. Yeah, if you can go get your nails done or something like that, and that brings you such happiness, then make sure you can include that wherever you can. If it's once a month or if it's every 3 months or something like that. But I think it is important, and just making sure that you're thinking about some of those things. And again, I went, yesterday I shared, and I know I shared a little bit before we got started. For me, it's also been important to recognize that if I just make one change, one small thing, and try to do that one thing every day or every other day, to me, it's just so much easier to make it part of my routine. And it kind of comes back to taking, having an opportunity to take a bath, or just, that kind of stuff. It's knowing that it's there and I can do it. And it may not be an hour-long bath, which would probably be the best, but it's still 10 minutes to myself is great. And just having 10 minutes of quiet and just a moment to think and relax is enough. It really is enough. And then I can, that's something I can do every day. I can put in 10 minutes every day to take a walk around the block, or walk up to the grocery store and then have a bit of stress at the grocery store, and then walk back and relieve that stress from the walk. But it's just, again, it's doable. It's something that's doable, and it works for me. That's the thing too, is it works for me. I think it's always important to find what works for you. So yeah, maybe taking that 10-minute walk is not going to be something that works for you, but maybe instead, just taking a pause at your desk and taking a breath or two, might be what works for you. So,
something else that's really effective and helpful for you is really looking into gratitude, trying to maybe send thank you notes or words of encouragement to coworkers or family members, really taking that time. That's also part of self-care, which there's a lot of research that shows how gratitude can really help support a person's mental well-being. And so that's important as well. And you were sharing earlier about you and Tony, your husband, who would take walks and find time in the day. And quite honestly, my husband, Scott, and I felt like we didn't even have that opportunity. So we started doing something that was a little different, and we would email each other or text each other like something that would make us laugh or smile, just so we're staying with that connection, because that was part of what we were missing. And we wanted to be sure we had that opportunity to do that. So those little pictures, I took a selfie of myself in the mirror, and he's like, seriously? But I mean, to have that connection and to keep going, and the laughter, and it's important to do that. So for us, that was important for us to be able to do. So what about you guys? Anybody else want to come up and talk with us? And
Okay.
Thanks, Tina, for joining us.
If you could tell us your name and your favorite candy bar.
Okay. My name is Tina, and my favorite candy bar is probably a Payday. I love paydays. I
like
the
paydays too.
They're not good for me, but they're good.
Okay, so Tina, thank you for joining us. Go ahead, Julie, you can start this one.
Sure. So tell us what you do, Tina.
Okay, so I am the parent mentor for Columbus City Schools. And I have to say that my self-care is totally different than most people's, because I know a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people that know me know, and I don't even know if you know, but within 10 years ago, we had a house fire and we lost everything in the house. So I was so angry and so mad, but the foundation was still there. But so probably 2 days into it, when everything was gone, I was walking down the street and down our street, because just to see the house. And the fire chief came up to me and he said, are you Mrs. Wallace? And I was like, what do you need? Because, I'm all upset. And he was like, I just want to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. And he said, I know right now your life feels like it's over because you've lost every single thing. He said, but I need to tell you this, and I'm going to put stuff in perspective for you right now. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure you are. And he said, 10 minutes more and your whole family would have been gone. He said, usually with this type of a fire, we're not talking to the people that own the house. We're talking to their family. So sometimes what I do with self-care is I just sit for 10 minutes, like bring myself, if I'm really stressed, and go 10 minutes and think of all the things that are really good to me, and think 10 minutes. It would have been a whole different lifetime. Right. So sometimes you have to, and what I was saying is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm very into my religion with the Lord. Mm-hmm. So like I even have a sign by my bed that says, he's like, good morning, it's God. I'll be handling all your problems today, so don't worry. And that sign's right, and I read it every morning. So I think that having that feeling, and I have an autistic daughter, so that for her to have to overcome that was huge. And I think that a lot of people, like when they ask me, how are you always in such a good mood? Or how are you always so? And I'm like, because you don't know how precious life can be unless you live something that is totally beyond your control. So I think that's what, if I would share anything, I would share that just take that 10 minutes. And I was telling my friend, I said, 10 minutes usually all I get in the tub. Yeah. I was like, but they know, don't knock on the door unless somebody's bleeding. Like, no, mommy needs 10 minutes. Right. So yeah. So, but it's just that 10 minutes to take and go, you know what? I have so much to be thankful for. And I worked for the district in another capacity. And I always think to myself, I've seen all types of children, and I really am blessed with what God gave me or how I deal with my life, because there's a lot of people struggling a lot worse than me. So when I hear people complain, or I'm not saying everybody doesn't complain once in a while, but I'm saying I hear people complain a lot, I just want to tell them, like, you don't have cancer, or you don't have a kid that could die, or you don't have a kid, or you're not starving, or you're not, and I just try to put life in perspective for them to say, you know what could be out there for you, and you're mad because you didn't hit the lottery, you're mad because you didn't get that extra ticket, or you're mad because, right. I think it's you got to get a grip on life to know, just be kind and be the best person you can be each day. That's just how I try to live life.
Yeah, you're very thankful.
I am very thankful. I'm very blessed.
Absolutely.
And I really, well, it was a very powerful story. Like, I'm still thinking about, wow, 10 minutes. Yeah, it does. This is,
you're like, I don't care about all that stuff could have been replaced, but your family, your dog even couldn't be replaced. Right. So
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. And I mean, I'm thinking when he said, I can put stuff in perspective for you, I'm like, I just lost everything I have. You can't put anything. And when he did it, I was like, you are so right. I was like, I can replace anything in that house, but I can't replace people. And you can't replace, and you're just fortunate that, like, I felt like I got a second chance to shine. And so that's why and I tell my kids that too. I tell them, you guys don't know, especially when, like, 60% of some of the clientele that I worked with were medically fragile. So they had different abilities where they didn't have hands, so they had to write with their feet and stuff like that. So I think that even when Matt or my son would go to complain, he would say, my hands hurt so bad. I'm like, well, at least you have hands. And he's like, whoa, okay. Go get it back up there. But I'm like, you don't always complain about what you don't have. Be thankful for what you do.
I thought it was interesting, Tina, that you mentioned that 10-minute time frame and the importance of reflection time for you, that you would take that opportunity, whether it be the 10 minutes or whatever time you can do that, to just kind of think through some things. Can you tell us why that's so important for you?
I think the way I used to, and I still am really hyper, but the way I used to go. And then I just felt like I never felt like I gave enough. Or I would get bitter or mad about stuff that was beyond my control. And it was but then I think after the fire, and I had just started the school system. So I kind of started reflecting on the things that mattered the most, your family, your religion, your friends, things that people take for granted every day, things that your life itself. I mean, that movie this morning, it just got me because I'm thinking to myself, until when she hands a kid a book, I just wonder sometimes how that kid reacts. Because, you come back like, whoa, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. And there's a lot of times where, since my daughter is 23, but a lot of times people don't know until she starts to talk or until she'll say, Mommy. And then they're like, wait, something's up with this girl. You know what I'm saying? Because autism, sometimes you can't, unless they're really, really, like she's high functioning. So they wouldn't catch it as much to say, oh, there's something going on there. And so, but anyway, she just had a bad experience at work. And I tried to explain to her, you just pray for that person. I said, because people don't, and I think my son, the experience at work, it was just somebody hurt her feelings really bad at a customer, but he was more mad. And I told him, we have to stay united front. We have to tell her, no, we're just because the thing is, she could get mad and then be mad because she has this. But I don't want her to feel that way. I want her to feel like, you know what? If you put your mind to it, you could do anything else. Like, I love Temple Grandin. I love it because I can always, or Albert Einstein or the people who've already had autism, and I can go back to her and say, look, Allison, see what all these people, Benjamin Franklin, all these people have had some type of an autism, and look what they've accomplished. So don't think just because you have something going on, just because you have a different ability, doesn't mean that you're stopped. You're just going to have to do it in a different way. And some of the people that call me are like, well, yeah, but my kid has a problem now, and now I'll never get this. And I'm like, yes, you're right. The dream is over. No, the dream's not over. The dream's just different. And they're like, my dreams are over. No, they're just different dreams now. Right. And my main dream was when my daughter first got to school, because she could hardly write, is just to write, I love you, Mommy. And when she did, it was like the best day of my life. She was almost 6 before she did it. But it's the little things that you have to put in perspective in order to be happy. I think that we take advantage of that a lot.
And that is self-care.
Right. That is self-care.
Well, thank you. You're welcome for sharing that. Thank you. We appreciate that. And I'm glad everything worked out with
it. It did. It was really good. It was still in the house. I had to rebuild. It's just had to rebuild. Right.
And we got to rebuild everything.
Right.
So, I'm going to ask, so what words of encouragement would you offer others to support them? You kind of offered quite a bit already. But
in a world where you can be anything, be kind. That's my main thing. That's what I tell people all the time.
Because you feel good when you're...
Because you feel good, and give someone the smile. Like, always smile. Did you guys have seen that contagious thing about the smile? I think that's one of the coolest things too. Yeah. Don't take it personally. Don't take on them. Just try to pray for them or make them, if you can make somebody happy that day, try.
Wonderful.
A couple of things. Sorry.
That's perfect. Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. I did it.
Thank you.
You did fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we still have a little bit of time. Anybody else? Oh, please come on up. Yeah.
I came in late, though.
There's that name where he's looking for earlier. I'm like, where's she at?
There was so many to decide between in this time frame.
I know. Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for signing up for this one. I know that's the one. There are so many fabulous sessions and
many.
so much to pick from that I do appreciate you guys choosing this one.
I think it's a great concept. I mean, what better way to learn about self-care than people to apply it themselves?
That's right. Yeah.
So will you start off and just tell us who you are and maybe tell us your favorite animal and why?
Sure. My name is Esty. I have a 6-year-old on the spectrum, and I am the help desk coordinator at Milestones Autism Resources. My favorite animal is probably a chinchilla, because I could never have one. And I won't let my kids have one because they're high maintenance like me. So that's my favorite animal.
Very cool. We'll just start with, what does self-care look like for you?
Self-care for me, I didn't know what it was up until probably a year ago. My son and I were very codependent, and I didn't realize that it was an issue or that I was not caring for myself at all until I literally hit rock bottom. I could not go to the store by myself. I would not leave him in anyone else's care because no one could do it like me. I knew best. I was mom.
Right.
Dad couldn't, grandpa couldn't, grandma couldn't. He was with me all the time. And it took me, my mental health, compromising my own mental health for me to realize that there was really an issue.
Right.
And have, seek out therapy and have my therapist tell me, you realize you're codependent on each other, that part of it is you.
Right.
You're feeding into that.
Yeah.
Once I let go a little bit, I'd quit my job when he was diagnosed. That was it. That's what all of my energy was going to. Gave him everything that I had. And then, he started school. He didn't need me anymore. So what was I going to do with my time? What was I going to do? So I went back to work after not having worked 4 years, full time. And for me, that has been my self-care. Like, that's it. Like, I went back to work. That's what I do for me. I feel productive. I feel like I'm giving back to my family. I feel like I'm setting a positive example for all of them, interacting with other adults. And it's still something that I'm passionate about.
So can you tell me what you do in your job?
Sure, absolutely. So I work at Milestones, which is an autism resource center in Cleveland. I'm the help desk coordinator. So families who are looking for resources, whether they just got their diagnosis or they are looking to connect with an occupational therapist wherever they are in the state, we do our best to connect them with evidence-based resources that are vetted by us. Make sure that they accept their insurance. Hopefully try to find resources that don't have a giant waiting list, and just get them connected with those services and just give back to the community. And I think we're all really tied into it together and help in any way that I can.
So the help desk, you help people.
I help people.
But it helps you.
Yeah, it helps me.
Because you get to help those people.
Yeah.
So that's what self-care looks like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my purpose. And I go home feeling great about it at the end of the day.
That's wonderful. Because, who would have thought work would have been your self-care?
I know. Getting out of the house every day and even, the car ride to and from by myself. My day is a lot more busy. But it's good busy. It's productive busy. And
it gives you another sense of thinking. It's not just focused on that one thing, that autism in my family, but yet I can look at other things and help other people. And so it gives you a different direction. Because sometimes we get so absorbed into our those negative things that are happening in our life that it's very difficult to see the positive things too. So,
well, and again, you get to use your experiences and things that you've learned to help others who are just starting out or don't know what direction to go. So you're actually also helping provide self-care to those families that are calling this help desk, giving them some tips on what they can do. So it's wonderful.
Absolutely is. I love to be able to share my compassion that I have. And sometimes it's really just another person on the other end of the phone that needs to listen to you for 5 minutes about what's going on. So I love to be that.
That's great that you've got that opportunity with work, but do you have any other opportunities outside of work with some friends or relationships?
I do. So it's nice because I had a hard time leaving my children. So I've developed a little bit of independence, and so have they. So, it's great to stop somewhere after work.
I don't feel that rush to rush home, and I'm already out of the house anyways, and leaving the house is half the battle.
Right.
So it really is. So once I'm out of the house, it's great to stop for dinner with friends and, get to go out to lunch with friends. And then, I have that extra money to do that. So if I have to stop at Target for diapers and I'm there for 2 hours, so be it. I
have heard others have gotten lost at Target. It does seem to be like an oasis.
There's a Starbucks in there. It's meant for you to hang out a little while.
Yeah.
That's good, and you're not feeling guilty about it.
No, I don't. And, my kids also get the benefit of me not being home with them all the time because I have an opportunity to recharge. Mm-hmm. So just taking that positive spin on it and being a better person for them and for myself, it's just been life-changing.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Now I'm inspired.
So it was when, I think you said your son was 6 when you realized this, right? Which is a young age.
Yeah.
So for families that are just receiving a new diagnosis of something going on with their child, what advice might you give them to inspire them to reach out there and do other things and seek outside help? Or what would you recommend?
I would recommend building the best team that you can, but the team isn't just for your child. It's for you too. Build those support systems. One of the best, my son first got his diagnosis, the best analogy that I ever heard was, don't go to an empty well for water. So find those wells that are full of water and go to it, and whenever you need to replenish and recharge, use that. It's okay to take care of you too. That's a big, big piece of it. They do. They need you. They need you to be there and be well and do the things that you need to do. That's my best advice. And don't wait. Don't wait on it. No, just do it today.
Yep.
Do it now.
Start right now. Yep.
It's a great time.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Well, thank you for joining us. This was wonderful.
I've had such a great time.
That's nice. That's great.
Cool. Good. Okay. What time we have?
We got about 15 minutes.
Okay. Anybody else want to come up? And you can even flip it around if you want to ask Jen and I questions, so we're not putting you on the spot.
That's interesting.
You can do that.
There you go.
It's up to you. Or Simon. We'll corner you, Simon. What do you do for self-care?
What do I do?
Yes.
Simon, what do you do for self-care? Oh, come on up. Thank you. Okay. Well, let's get started. Yeah. All right. Your name, and I am going to ask you, what's your favorite month?
Oh my gosh. Man, I couldn't get like candy bar or something. My name is Michelle, and my favorite month is June because it's summer and it's my birthday and it's my anniversary, and I think my husband has like a birthday in there somewhere.
Pretty easy to come up with.
That's a great month. It's my very favorite.
Well, thank you for taking this leap here and sharing with us about self-care. So what does your self-care journey look like?
Well, I'm fairly new to self-care because I was always the person that thought like the more I do, the better. Like I have to be doing something all the time or I'm not productive. If I'm not going straight from work to an activity to home to cook dinner to bed, like I can't have downtime. I should be doing something in that time. So for me, it's fairly new. I'm still kind of working through it. But something as simple, like through my day, I'm very lucky that my husband takes our kids to school in the morning. So like, I love to blare my music in the morning on the way to school. Like I'm obsessed with the Hamilton soundtrack. So I just kind of, they probably look at me pulling in like, ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't think you're the only one.
Okay, good. No, I get there early though. That way no one sees me.
Are you at sing chorus?
No. No. See, I'm cutting back on things. I'm learning to say no. But that, and then I have a fantastic group of people at my school that, I know that I can go to any of them at any time and say anything or do anything or make a joke that is not even funny, and they will just be there. So that really gets me through my day because I know if I'm having a bad morning, I can meet up with them at lunch, or, if I'm having a bad afternoon, I can just pop in and say, just listen to this. So having that support system, that's so cliche, but that's like the biggest thing because I spend more time with them than I do my family sometimes. So they've become, part of my family. But a big part of it for me too was, I teach. I'm in my 8th year of being an intervention specialist. So that has its own stresses and craziness. And then I coach high school volleyball. I sit on 3 committees. I'm involved with Special Olympics.
So you're not busy at all.
Well, and I really have had to like decide what's most important. And that was a hard decision because everything's important to me. I mean, I don't want to say no to anything. But I really had to look at, what can I cut back on to make sure I'm okay? So.
And that's wonderful that you recognize that, because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do first, is just trying to figure out where can you say no and recognizing, giving yourself permission to say no, because that giving permission can be.
And that's hard. I mean, because like I said, I feel like, and I think we all do, like, we could be doing more. We could always do more for our kiddos. We could always do more for our family. We could always, sure, I'll take on an extra responsibility, an extra duty at school. But I mean, at some point you have to recognize that you have to step back.
Right.
And it's hard. It's really hard, but I'm getting there.
And I have to ask you, have you ever felt like on your downtime, you don't know what to do with yourself?
Yes, I do. And I'm still struggling with that because I feel like as I've started cutting things out, I'm at home more, and I have 2 young, they're 9 and 11, but they're young. And I feel like when we're just sitting at home, I almost feel guilty. Like, what should I be doing? I mean, there are no dishes to wash. There's no laundry, but I just feel like I shouldn't be just sitting here. I should be doing something productive. So I'm still learning to work through that. As I say no to things like, okay, we can just sit here and watch TV. This is really weird, but we're going to do it, But yeah, it really is a big struggle to just learn to take that time for yourself.
And when you do have that time for yourself, what does it do for you, like mentally and physically, and how do you feel?
When I kind of got past that little hump of feeling like I'm not being productive or I'm being lazy or, whatever. I mean, it was like I was a whole new person. I mean, I was invigorated. Even if I just sat for a half hour on the couch with my feet up and just didn't do anything, then I would get up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have energy to do anything else because my mind was better. I felt more rested, like even just that little space of time.
Absolutely. So teachers are busy.
Yeah.
And you are exceptionally busy. I mean, there's a lot going on and you have a lot on your plate. What advice might you give someone, an educator, maybe one small, simple step to take for them to make a change in their journey with self-care? What advice might you give them?
I will admit I do not live by this advice. I think it's fantastic advice and I would love to be able to implement it for myself. I'm just not there yet.
That's okay.
But I read something one time that said, do one small thing today, and then tomorrow do 2 small things, kind of like what you were talking about earlier. If you're talking exercise, walk 1 lap around the track today. Tomorrow, do 2. Drink 1 glass of water. Tomorrow, drink 2. Just always taking those small steps to improve. And just even if you maintain, don't go backwards. Let yourself keep moving forward. So just taking those little steps every day.
And I know, and to add to that, I know I've heard it's also just focus on today. Don't worry about what you're going to do tomorrow.
Yes.
Focus on today. And if you can check the box that you did it today, reward yourself for doing that.
Just get through today.
And
sometimes.
Then the next day you say, okay, today I'm going to do this. And that's all I'm focusing on. Because I think you start thinking about all these things you need to do going forward. And then you lose track of that moment of what am I going to do right now?
Yeah. And I struggle with anxiety, and I've had to learn, that's like a teacher with anxiety who does all the things that was a horrible combination of things. So I actually have started making a list. I'm a list maker in my anxiety. And I write down the things that need to be done right now, the things that can be done sometime this week, and the things that are just on the horizon that need done. And so then I can just focus on and that makes me have to mentally prioritize those things and say, that doesn't have to be done right this second. It's okay. That can be done later this week. But today, these things are non-negotiable. They have to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And kind of, it gives me that priority in my mind that I don't have to tackle that whole list today.
Yeah. Someone once told me, and I thought this was great advice, we often make to-do lists, things we have to get done, but you should look at making those accomplishment lists. Yeah. What is it in my day that I accomplished today that went really well? And list those things instead of the to-do list sometimes.
I actually had a neighbor who did that. Like she would just, instead of creating her to-do list, at the end of the day, she'd write down everything she did and she'd check it off. It was her way of saying, look at all I accomplished. Instead of putting that list together first thing in the morning, she did it at the end and she was able to quickly go and mark them all. So, yeah.
I like that.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, thank you for
you did us.
Thanks. My goodness, you're a pro. Yeah. I can't take on anything else though, guys. I'm learning to say no.
Okay,
So
I have one more question for you though.
Okay.
Any words of encouragement you'd like to share?
Just, I know everyone who works in education knows that we are making such a difference every single day. But that's the hard thing too. That's the hardest part. Like, just know that what you do makes a difference. But at the end of the day, leave it there and go home. Like, go home to your, I know it carries over. I know we're all guilty of that, myself included. Like, but at the end of the day, just know that you did what you could do and pick it back up tomorrow. But when you go home, just focus on that.
Focus on you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. We just have a few more minutes.
We want to give them time to do the evaluations too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, I'm glad you could join us.
I know. I was trying to balance between multiple works.
Oh, I know. It's hard.
See somebody newer.
Yeah. We're talking about self-care, David. Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
So as far as self-care goes, one of the things that's important to take into consideration is personal hygiene and making sure that you are relatively free of body odor and bad breath. It's good to do a self-check in the morning, have a list of things you need to do, such as deodorant, how often do I shower, did I brush adequately, did I use a tongue scraper to remove bacteria from the surface of my tongue, did I use the Listerine this morning, take a look at the mirror, did I forget something, did I forget to comb my hair, did I forget to shave? So just take a look and see, if you're not happy with how you prepare today, there's a good chance people may be making comments about you behind their back. So just look at yourself and see, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Do I smell okay? Those kind of things.
Are there some supports, David, that you have had in your experience that you maybe had to rely on for that support for self-care that you've used? Maybe like a visual schedule or a list or anything? How did you do
Not so much for those things, but I have used self-help books from the bookstore on dating advice and interpreting different body language and body cues. Sometimes we'll be given nonverbal signals in a romantic situation, and it's up for us to decode them properly. It can be easy to misread those as flirting when they're intended to be anything but flirting. So it's oftentimes easy to misinterpret flirting signals, and a lot of those books help to decode that into ways we can understand and trying to decipher what one's body language really means. Are we being set up for a potential date, or is it just platonic and nothing more than friendship? So that's what I need a little more training in, and some of the self-help books out there achieve that.
Can I ask you a question? I'm wondering if there's something that helps you relax, that takes away the anxiety. Is there something that you do, an activity that you do that kind of helps you self-regulate?
I love the smell of lavender oil, so having that handy is great. Massage is great too. So every now and then we'll schedule a professional massage, or even having a friend do it. It helps relax, and it's a distressor. And just being able to relax in a comfortable position and being away from an environment where there's a lot of unpleasant sounds. But those are the few things that come to mind in terms of distressing.
Very good.
And that's probably a reason why you'll see people with autism and Asperger's syndrome carrying around yearbooks, magazines, calendars. Some of the images contained in those things help to relax a person. And when they stare at certain pictures in their yearbooks or magazines, that is a way for them to escape reality and for them to be at peace and feel calm.
Sure.
That's a wonderful point. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Anything else you'd like to tell us about what self-care is for you?
Well, part of self-care is learning how to live independently and having the right supports in place. And one of the things that was helpful in self-care was being able to make gradual transitions. So, for example, when I went from high school to college, I lived at home for the first year of college and then went to a dorm for the second year. That helped ease the transition a bit, and the college was local. There are so many things on self-care that it's really hard to enumerate all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So being able to have control over how you appear, your clothing, your hygiene, And also take note of your finances. Make sure you're not spending beyond your means. Know how to balance your bank account and be aware of what your credit is and what you're spending and how much is coming in, what's going out, and not to overspend. So don't take those things for granted.
Can I ask a question? So, David, you and your wife, Lindsay, have been here several times now to Columbus, but I don't know what the distance is. I think you fly, correct?
Yeah, the flying is more practical because it is a direct flight. And if we were staying for an extended period of time, driving definitely makes more sense. But since we're here for just a few days, and it's a lot more comfortable to take a 1 hour and 15-minute plane ride rather than being in the car for 7 hours.
So long, yeah.
And the price was similar too if we had driven and perhaps stayed at a hotel overnight versus flying. The flights were about 150 round trip, so it was very, very reasonable to do that.
That's great. That's really
But
great.
if there was connections involved, then you start thinking, is it practical to fly or is it practical to drive? But we have the option of a direct flight here.
Sure. What I was going to ask you is, are there certain practices being away from home that help you or Lindsay with your self-care? So you're out of your traditional routine, you're out of your environment. This place itself can be a pretty sensory assaulting kind of place. It's a big cavernous, it's loud, it's noisy, it's confusing, people get lost. Are there things that you do when you're in environments like that to kind of help you find your center? And
yes, when we travel, that's a wonderful question, by the way, and I'm glad you asked it. When I travel, I like to take my Tempur-Pedic pillow with me because I don't know what kind of pillow I'm going to have at the place I'm staying at. It could be a thin and lumpy pillow and not provide adequate neck support. So I travel with a pillow that I invested over $100 in. So I'm assured that I'm going to have proper head and neck support.
Mm-hmm.
And I always bring additional toiletries with me that I'm pretty sure would not be easily obtained at a hotel, concierge, or bed and breakfast that we attend to. And having my noisemaker at night is also quite essential. And I don't know what kind of white noise or other type of soothing sounds I could get from the hotel alone. So I bring my iPad with me that has a white noise app on it. I also have a machine that produces a white noise sound too. So those are my travel essentials and help me feel like I'm more at home and assure myself a better night's rest.
Good. Yeah.
And then when coming into a venue like this seeing people I know makes me feel more at home and more comfortable. If I'm in a world of everybody I don't know, then it's a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But building on those relationships I've developed in the past and seeing them again is one of the real pleasures of attending conferences like this.
Those are some great tips that you just shared. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David. Yeah, we are right on time here. Thank you guys all for joining us. Hopefully you are walking away with some additional things to think about to help support you, your self-care journey.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
It's time for you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of From My Perspective. By sharing these stories, experiences, and perspectives, I hope you are inspired to take the first step to start a new habit or the next step as you continue on your own self-care journey. If you would like to learn more about OCALI and its resources, please visit ocali.org.